name's Steph Bullen and I'm the National Animal Health and Welfare Lead at Dairy Australia. Many farms are experiencing really high levels of mastitis at the moment, which can feel pretty overwhelming. We are hearing that some farms are getting sort of 20 to 30% of their cows affected. Mastitis occurs when bacteria enter the udder via the teat canal, and so there's a couple of particular things that are at play at the moment that really increase that risk. The first one obviously is exposure to mud, so really high levels of bacteria in mud, much more bacteria present on that teat, but also the mud and the wet conditions actually dries the teat skin that can increase the cow's risk of getting mastitis. Her natural defences are lower than what they ordinarily would be, so it's really important to manage both those things, keeping the teats clean and dry and also keeping that skin on the teat as healthy as possible to minimise the risk of bacteria getting in there. So there's a couple of things that farmers can be considering at the moment just to help manage the overwhelm, I guess. Washing and drying teats is the most effective thing that farmers can be doing to manage the risk of mastitis. Bacteria are really good swimmers, so we want teats to be dry. So if we're applying water to them to wash mud off, it does need to be dried off. Paper towel, chucks, anything like that to actually dry the teats. If the mud has dried on the teats, you can just use a glove hand just to remove as much of that mud as you can before putting the cups on. But cups really do need to go onto dry teats. We know that some farmers are considering using pre-milking teat spray. We don't recommend that, particularly if you're not washing and drying those teats before using the teat disinfectant. The teat disinfection it can't disinfect mud, it needs to go onto clean dry teats to work. And the other consideration is that by adding the moisture to the teat before milking, we upset the milking dynamic. So if we're applying any disinfectants or water to the teats, it must be wiped off before the cups go on. So drying off early is another strategy that farmers can consider just to reduce the overwhelm, reduce the load in terms of feed, labour and stress levels. If you know the cows are pregnant, obviously they're an easy case to identify them to dry off, but if you can organise your vet or other service provider to preg test those cows that you're unsure about, low producing cows, other cows that have been in the herd for a long time, if you can dry them off and get them out early, that can just help reduce the pressure. When you're drying off cows, obviously really important to maintain hygiene, which I know is easier said than done, but it's really important that we're not inadvertently introducing new infections when we're drying those cows off. We do want to be using antibiotic dry cow therapy on all quarters on all cows, as well as internal teat sealants, just to minimise the risk of any new infections entering those udders. Veterinary support is available to assist farmers with managing treatments. We know it can be quite overwhelming, so there are some options to help reduce the stress, particularly when we're using intramammary antibiotics to treat those cows. And those practices may differ from what you ordinarily use, but it's really important to get some veterinary advice before making any changes. There's two Dairy Australia resources that could be really helpful. The first one is the Dairy Australia Countdown Shed Guides. They're pictorial, waterproof shed guides that you can have on hand in the dairy. Lots of pictures, not a lot of text, but a really nice quick guide to help farmers in the current circumstances, and particularly if you've got people on farm that wouldn't ordinarily be helping you, in terms of providing quick upskilling, they're a really handy resource. And we also have a fact sheet on managing mastitis in wet conditions, which covers off all of the things that I discussed today, plus some additional considerations. Your Dairy Australia regional team is here to help you, so reach out to them. They can connect you with any services that you may need or provide resources, or you can jump on the Dairy Australia website to access any of that information that you need.